What is going on YouTube? Hayden here, and in today's episode we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, as well as VONG and the S&P 500. Specifically in today's episode, we need to talk about the recent correction that's taking place on most of the major cryptocurrencies, including the stock market here. I'm still just a bit deterred. We are seeing some wild things happening right now across the board within all these cryptocurrencies. To start with XRP, we are what I think is going to be completing its downtrend here. We're going to adjust the charts in just a little bit later on in today's episode here, but we are starting a descent here. Solana also completing its bottom support. I also think we're looking good for a small reversal correction back to the upside. Ethereum in a very obvious descending fractal. We're going to obviously draw this in a second with you guys to confirm everything. Put it in line with the rest of these cryptos, because again, I also think you could probably start to draw something on Solana as well. It's quite interesting to see this. Whether accurate or not, we don't know just yet, but I mean, there's certainly something forming here that we can certainly leave on. So we're going to just kind of double back to that in a minute. And here, just want to show you guys everything that's forming right here. Ethereum 2, Bitcoin continuing its descending fractal here, well within its beautiful descending broadening wedge. Looks excellent here. VONG, the Russell 1000, heading lower as well. See, this is the interesting thing, because we just managed to rally to the upside here. We look amazing, exploded to the upside here. Major reversal, same thing with the stock market, big swing all the way up to price ceiling. And now what I expect to see is a possible reversal. That's what we're looking for here. Whether it's going to happen or not, I am not entirely sure, but that's truly what I think is where we're going to start to see corrections take place too. So it'll be interesting. Definitely stay tuned, watch the video to the end. But with that being said, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's get right into today's episode. So guys, a couple of days ago, I did go on vacation. Wow, didn't even notice that. Or sorry, I did take a break, so I wasn't able to make a video on, I believe it was Friday. So it's been a couple of days in the waiting here. But as you guys can see, wow, 4,000 views on the last video here. What just happened to XRP? This was in reference to the major correction, the landslide reversal we just saw within the markets here. And you could see when I look at the current coin market cap, we're also in a very good footing. 56 on the Fear and Greed Index is awesome, if you ask me. You could see the major reversal that's taking place on a lot of these major cryptocurrencies. Ethereum sliding lower as well. Bitcoin sliding lower. XRP sliding lower. BNB sliding lower. Lots of consolidation across the board. This is setting us up for what could be some big things come this week. And that's what we're paying attention to. Because if we do see the possible movements to the upside here, things could end very well for XRP this week. What I mean by that is if I zoom in, you can clearly see just a small tweak of this beautiful descending fractal reveal. So we are at a fairly low point. Not only does XRP have a beautiful price floor that we've been using very well, we also have this beautiful lower high, lower low pattern here, filling in the gap here, slowly correcting to the downside. And what we're expecting to see take place is eventually a rebound up. And as you guys can see, we're also oversold on the 4-hour charts on XRP. Another reference to a possible rebound to the upside here. 44 on the Fear and Greed, on the RSI here. Another reasonable reason why we could see reversal. So I'm going to, leave us on the 4-hour charts here. We're beautifully drawing into a lower high, lower low pattern, filling in this gap very nicely here. And if things do align correctly, we should be able to see a rebound start this week, and we should start to ascend to the upside here, which would be a phenomenal result. Honestly, something that I would expect to see take place here, a big swing back to the upside here. Now, moving forward from XRP, looking at Solana, I really do think just a small tweak of this chart would really just cap everything with how we have been here. You can kind of see this movement here. And then I also believe strongly that there's some sort of descending fractal taking place here. We don't have enough confirmation, but if I do swing this to the daily, we might be able to adjust these charts to include it. If accurate, I don't know. Yeah, so you can see I could be able to just pull this down just a hair, pull this up just a bit, and you can see now it does make a bit more sense here on the 4-hour or the 3-hour charts here, even though we're trending slightly a bit above. For the most part, this is how we're looking here. Some sort of descending fractal to the downside as we fill in this gap, and it's pulling us all the way down to price floor, this uptrend, which would also scream reversal. If you ask me, I very likely think that a result of this bottom floor being retested is we're nearing oversold, nearing moving average, and nearing an uptrend, and this could cause the markets to swing back to the upside here. looks phenomenal. If you ask me, that's very likely what I would suspect to see take place, is a big swing back to the upside, a catapult, I guess to say, to the upside here. So that's truly what I'm looking for, is a nice rebound. We're in this beautiful lower high, lower low pattern here. These typically break bullish, so we should expect to see a big swing back upwards here, as well as these other cryptocurrencies. We'll do all these trades on BYDFI, the #1 cryptocurrency leveraging exchange that I like to use here on the channel. Buy long, sell short, leverage trade, create stop losses, take profit. Everything you'd want on an exchange is offered on BYDFI here, which is phenomenal. They just finished up their huge promo for the month. They're going to be doing another one soon. I'll keep you guys posted on that. As markets cool, they kind of hold off until the markets start to pick back up. But you still have options to earn up to $8,100 in new user benefits. They have events that they're doing. They have demo trading accounts, which is awesome. I'll open that up in a minute here. But you can see they also have long, short positions, market orders, leverage. Everything you'd want to do on an exchange is offered on BYDFI, including this demo account, which is exactly the same thing as the regular account, except they fund your account with 50 grand in demo money to practice trading your skills, to get familiar with the exchange, to learn how everything works. And then when you're ready, you can head on over to the live account and put your skills to the test. But moving forward, we already covered Solana here, which we're expecting to see reverse to the upside here. Looking at XRP, which we were explaining why we saw this major correction here, but you can also see as I zoom out that we're in a massive bull flag here. We're in a massive descending fractal, and you can see we're coming down to support here. 50 on the RSI. Anything can happen. Hopefully it's not, tumbling to the downside of moving average here. Hopefully we actually end in a bullish breakout, but again, anything can happen. As I zoom out, you can see what I would likely suspect to see take place is a rebound upwards here. We've been in a beautiful descending fractal on this lower RSI here, so what I'd likely suspect to see take place is rebounding off this moving average and rallying back up to price ceiling. That could happen probably at any moment today or this week. I very likely suspect that is a result we'll see happen this week, which is also super exciting. But to look at these other cryptocurrencies here, this is, hello, look at how obvious this one is. I don't even have much to explain. This is a 4-hour beautiful descending fractal. And you could see, again, leading up with everything else, extremely bullish, lower high, lower low pattern, filling in this gap. Once we retest moving average, very likely we should suspect to see a massive break to the upside. So if you're not paying attention to Ethereum, I suspect that we should see a very large rally to the upside on Ethereum very, very, very soon, which is extremely exciting news if you ask me here. It doesn't get any more textbook than this bull flag here. We have beautiful rallies all the way up, lower high, lower lows to the downside here. Now we're looking for a price ceiling break, and then we should expect to see an explosion to the upside, which would be awesome. Bitcoin as well, beautiful descending broadening wedge. Anything can happen with this. We just consolidated downwards a bit. We may head a little bit lower, but again, these typically break bullish as well. The way we exited or how we entered is usually how we'll exit. So there's also a very big chance that we could see a reversal rally on a lot of these cryptos. So across the board, we look really good for this week. You can see where things get a bit interesting is with the stock market here. Looking at VONG, the Russell 1000, things are very freaky. The fact that we managed to trend outside of here, but then also continue to rally up higher is very odd. It almost makes me think, can I extend this? Is this now the new fractal, the new descending pattern that we're forming here? It's so difficult. It is so difficult. Maybe we've just changed course. A little more consolidative, but a bullish flag nonetheless here. I move this to here. You can see how, again, things look phenomenal. We're still very easily inside the descending fractal. We're still heading to the upside. Instead of an aggressive movement upwards like this, we're now slow and steady in it's still upwards trajectory, but we're still in a higher low, higher high pattern here that could extend us and scale us to the upside. So as far as I know, we could still be very bullish on a lot of these cryptocurrencies and the stock market, which is freakish. It's very freakish here, but it makes sense. Stock market here too. It's again, do I have to tweak this to include it somehow like this? Maybe this is the new uptrend here. We can erase this one and erase this one, draw this price ceiling. This is now capping us, and now we're going to just start to trend upwards like this, facing a new trajectory. Again, it's definitely better. Instead of rallying on a freaking straight up, we're now more slanted here, which will allow us to cool off at a bit more periods here, but it's very freaky. It's not something that I was expecting here, and I still believe we're due to correct. I still think there's very much so room to head to the downside here. Either way, in my opinion, it's just it's a waiting game. I would not recommend buying in at any point when we're so overbought, when you could buy in when we're oversold. Like, why get in here when at some point we're probably going to come down a moving average and then we can buy in there? That's kind of where my head's at. But with that being said, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.